Hello, my name is Amina, and I want to thank you first of all for tuning into my channel. Some people call me Queen Amina, whatever is fine. I'm a full-time missionary, and this is my fifth video that I've made. I've been in a full-time service for actually from 2009 until to date, 2016. What I wanted to do today is talk to you about two dreams that I had a couple of years ago. One was of a bus that I was on, and the second was at a convention that I was in. They were actual dreams, and I want to, before I get started, just to tell you to pray about everything and, don't assess anything through the flesh. But as you hear these things, just pray and ask, and if it can help someone, this video, if it can't help you but someone else, and God tells you to share it, please by all means share it. But so here goes. The first one is I was on a bus with some people in the dream, but it was actually I'm in the royal realm, which means the situation was more reality than outside of sleeping. And I was on this bus with a lot of people that I liked and I loved from all different time periods of my life. It was people on the bus from elementary, from high school, from my old neighborhood, people that I just recently met, people from work, all types of people. We were on this bus. And so we reached the apartment where I was staying at. I didn't live in that actual apartment, but it was just an apartment complex. So the bus dropped me off here, and the entrance was here. And the bus was going to turn around and do a U-turn and go back the other direction. Well, on the side of where he had just dropped me off, I don't know why I was supposed to get off the bus. The doors open and I was just supposed to exit. And you know how dreams are, you can't really explain them. So I got off, and it was a body of water right next to where I was. Well, when the bus was getting ready to make the U-turn, somehow it ended up in the pond. It was a deep pond, and it went down, like if this is the water, it went down like this. It went so fast. I was the only one that saw it. So I started running around trying to flag traffic down to tell people that, look, it's a group of people in here. I ran by the edge of the water. I looked in, and I just saw the bottom of the bus just going down like that, fast like that. There was nothing I could do. So I went to go call for help. Somehow help was, the ambulance or whoever it was, the authorities were called. And it was sad because they wouldn't stop. And I kept telling them, no, it's over here. But they just went by me like I was completely invisible. And I was really stressed about that. And I grieved that because it was so many people that I loved that was on that bus, loved and loved. And when I woke up the next morning, I was like, wow, what's this about? And I even still felt grieved, not depressed, but grieved at what I had experienced because it was so real. The loss was so real. And I called a friend of mine. I got an answer. I prayed about it, but I wanted to make sure that it wasn't me interpreting it on my own. So my friend, when I talked to her, she said that, Amina, God was showing you that He is separating people. There are going to be a group on His left. There's going to be a group of people on His left and a group of people on His right. And that it will be more people on the left of His throne than those on the right. And so that those who are on the right understand that they will have to let go of some things or of some people, but He would also replace whatever you lost on the left. He will replace it with new connections and new family members and new loved ones and things like that. So I told the person, thank you. I started crying because it was just, I didn't fully understand it in the flesh. And then Baba came to me, Baba Jesus, and he came to me and he said, Amina, I want you to understand that everybody has to make their own choice, their own decision as to if they're going to follow me or not. And everybody has an accounting to me. So they have to chew for themselves and swallow for themselves. Not choose, chew is what he said, just like that. And I said, okay, Father. So he said, if you are a judge, if you're a juror, if you're a gardener, if you're a guard, whoever you are in life, if you have done this action In other words, breathe, inhale and exhale, you owe him something. And so I said, okay, may your will be done. And, you are the reader of hearts. I don't have that ability, and I trust you because you wouldn't die for something and then try to kill it. He said, exactly. Just trust me. I said, okay. And that was the end of that. So he was letting me know that the decision that I made to follow him and to give my life to him truly where he feels it's an acceptable sacrifice, that I would lose some people along the way, but that he would be everything. That's what he told me. He said, all voids I'll fill. Whatever I've killed on the left, I will certainly raise up to the right side of me. And I said, okay, Father, you know what you were doing. So then I had another dream, another divine revealing. And this one's more on a lighter note. And I was invited, not invited, but I woke up, I went to sleep, and then my spirit woke up and I was in heaven at this large convention. It was so many people. The atmosphere was as if we were at a graduation. And they were calling off names. The names I could hear so clearly, but when I woke up, I couldn't remember. It wasn't for me to remember in the flesh, but my spirit certainly does. And so, like he would say, Gail Abernathy, and people would go, ah, but I couldn't see. But I was walking up the stadium, but I couldn't see. But I could just hear everybody. People were so happy. And then I had these 5 little boys with me, maybe 6 of them, and they were from the ages of 11 to 15. I just knew they were the disciples, but they were small boys. They were really small boys. And we were all finding a seat. I was like as if I was their mom. And there was a particular usher there, not Usher the singer, an usher. This woman, she was very pretty in the face. And she had red hair, and she had a open space, or Americans call it a gap. Yeah, she had a gap. And, I'm busy trying to get everybody sitting down, and it was just so real, so vivid. I'm busy trying to sit us down, like as if all of these are my sons, a couple of them on my right, a couple on my left. And then I looked up at her, and she said, hi, where are you from, sugar? And I said some island as if off of Africa, well, Madagascar, some island like that. I couldn't remember exactly the name. I said, I'm from Madagascar. She said, oh, that's nice, sugar. I've been there before. And I said, hey, I know you. She said, you do? And I said, yeah. And I knew for a fact that the woman was God. She had such a warmth about her, the love that she showed me. And sometimes God calls me sugar, like when she's telling me something, and when she's coming to me in the mother form. So, like I said, God can come in any form she wants to, or he wants to. It's whatever you need is how he or she comes. So don't let that confuse you. Pray about that too. And so, they called another name off. So all of this conversation is going on, and they're still calling off names. And so finally, they said some name, and then everybody was, but I still couldn't see. I'm sitting down, but I couldn't see. Well, when I woke up, I called someone, and I told them about the dream, and I asked if they had, if they could confirm the dream for me. And I called 2 other people. All 3 people gave me the same answer, that the woman was God. She was a black woman. Maybe that's what I needed at that time. But God comes to you how you need him or her. And I said, wow. He said that he was letting you know that, he is with you and that you are not alone. And then more than what you see is with you. And so I said, thank you. I really, really appreciate that. And they also explained to me that the dream was, the convention rather, was people getting their robes as they entered into heaven. So, It's a lot going on in the heavenly realm, and I was just really happy to be able to experience that and still remember that years later. So, I just wanted to share that with you. You can pray about it. If you have any comments, feel free. But I also, excuse me, my allergies are bothering me. Sorry. But I also want to say this. When you are watching videos of dream interpretations or divine revealings, it is very important that you enter these things through the room of prayer. If you really think that you have the ability to assess, exactly how God is, you're already being deceived. Because, Jesus said that he is coming in a manner that we do not expect. So no matter what you expect, it's going to be wrong. So instead of trying to ascertain things in the flesh, this is what God tells me. Instead of trying to ascertain things in the flesh, confirm through me. Confirm through people I put around you. You have the ability, you have the tools to find out if something is really from God, because who really knows Father? Who really knows him? That's why Jesus said, no one can come to the Father except through me. So, we are like people in an army. There are some people that are scouts. Some people may be warriors. Some people may be cooks. You may have caregivers over here. And that is a specific role that God has given to those people. Some people are dream interpreters. Some people are prophets. Everybody has a different role. And if God's Spirit is operating upon that person, it's not going to be the way that you expect. I've had to be redirected and corrected in this matter. Let me be honest with you. So when you come to a person that is doing God's will, and you tell that person, this is what God is telling me. These are not Amina's words. No conversation is so valuable that I'm going to lie on God. No conversation is that important to me. If I say something, it's something that God said. It wasn't my imagination. Just as sure as my skin is brown, just as sure as I have two eyes and a pair of lips, you could best believe I confirmed it. So it behooves you to do the same thing. But he told me, when you run across a person and they tell you a particular thing that God said do this, number one, ask Father, how do you want me to treat that person? Because if that person is really doing what God says, and I come up against that person and I tell them, God didn't tell you that. God don't talk like that. God does not operate like that. If in fact it was God, because he says, my sheep, Jesus said, my sheep know my voice. Some people hear God's voice from the inside. Some people hear it from the outside. Some people hear it from other people. Some people hear it however God deems it necessary, or however that person can handle God. It's how he deals with that person. He told me anybody trying to redirect the steps of a holy one whose steps that he himself is directing, that person will incur his wrath. Without a doubt. So when you look at these videos or any other videos, the way to see that something is true and real is pray about it, wait for the answer before you come to a conclusion, and then anything that is false, the true nature of that thing, it will come up. If an apple is real, when you bite into it, you taste it, you see the reality of it because you bit into it. If it is a wax apple or wooden apple, it will show that it is wax. An egg that is rotten can only pretend to be good for so long. And that's the same thing with prophecy. A prophet that says A, B, or C, and they're not directing you to God, pray about it, or that's what God told me, and they're just saying, well, this is why I decided, that person gonna stand before God for their own reasons. And if the person that you see, another person you see, and they really are a servant of God and they have particular gifts, and you come up against that person with harsh words, and that person tells you, well, pray about it, ask God about it, and you decide that you don't want to, then you start feeling God's fingers in your life. So that's, I just want to share that with you. This is why I tell you, this is why I'm telling you, when I come and I say things, I'll say, this is what God says, because I'm accountable for what I say. So I'm not, consumed with, I hope they believe this, or I hope she believed that dream. You can believe it or not, the sun is still going to shine. So, and at the end of the day, I still have to stand before God for my actions, and so does everyone else. So I pray that we all try to get a clean standing before Him. Those who really want to. Some people just don't want it, and if you don't want it, you don't want it. It's okay. That's your choice too. But all roads lead to Him. If you are dreaming and you don't understand what your dreams are, ask God to direct you, and ask Him to bring people into your life who can really help you and interpret those dreams for you. So thank you once again. I hope I didn't ramble on too much. Just remember, God is, in the end, He wins. And in the beginning, He wins. In the middle, He's winning. And those who choose to be with Him and hold on to His hand, you made the right decision. Don't worry about people persecuting you. Don't worry about people saying you're crazy. Their reality can't be yours. He opened up your eyes and your ears for you to know Him, not for someone else to substantiate or validate your relationship with your Creator. All right, so let us all give God the glory. And as you see all of these things happening, just like Jesus said, raise yourself a wreck. If God is bringing war, please don't pray for peace. Do not pray for peace if He's bringing war. He said He's establishing His kingdom, and He establishes it the way that He wants to. If He's bringing peace, do not pray for war. So whatever God is wanting, may we all want the same. Me as well. All right. May God get the glory always. Thank you.